So welcome back to another EV Morning. You grab yourself a coffee and settle in for the news. We've mixed it up today, as always. We're taking a peek at Porsche's testing of the new Macan, and we welcome news that price parity for EVs is coming. But when? Find out. One of the biggest launches of the year was the Ioniq 5, and now we have some prices, at least here in the UK. Try and do the conversion for you. We're jumping on two wheels with Harley-Davidson and the Livewire brand, and finally taking a look at Tesla's epic rollout of Superchargers that has just reached how many? Well, you'll find out if you keep watching. My name is Martin Lee. If you like what we do here, make sure you hit subscribe and the bell icon so you never miss a show. One stick that the naysayers like to bash EVs with is the upfront cost of buying them. It's a fair criticism. It's one of the main reasons touted by people for not going electric, but things will be different in the future. We know that. It's a matter of time before we see prices dropping to levels matching their combustion counterparts. Well, that date looks like it's going to happen, according to at least this report, around 2026. Transport and Environment and Bloomberg New Energy Finance teamed up to do some research and came to the conclusion that efficiencies of scale and the continuing drop on prices of batteries is what's going to allow us to get to that cost parity. In other words, a combustion car, an electric car, exactly the same price. You just decide on the powertrain. Of course, you'll go electric. Not just that, but they also see the cost of dropping below combustion versions after that point. So it becomes a no-brainer with running costs as well. However, they do mention that governments are going to need to influence this change in order to get there. Car makers not likely to voluntarily adopt the changes to their systems and products that, let's face it, they've developed for decades and are working pretty well for them at least. Let's hope it pans out at least as quickly as 2026, if not before. So the Porsche Taycan really made waves in the EV world from the moment it was released. Even before, it was the Taycan when it was Mission E. The tired old phrase of Tesla killer, yes, that was bandied about plenty of times. Why do we have to kill anybody? Let's raise the tide and get loads of great EVs on the market. It turns out, if anything, that the Taycan, if it was going to kill something, well, that would be the 911, as it hoovered up Porsche buyers' money. So we're always on the lookout for Porsche's next move, and now they've started testing the next big car that could be even bigger. Almost certainly the electric Macan. They're embarking on a testing journey of about 3 million kilometers around the world and in various conditions. The car is going to be based on something called the PPE platform and will have the 800-volt architecture of the Taycan, the Audi e-tron GT, etc. So we can expect the electric Macan to charge well over 200 kilowatts. That's crazy fast and likely to have a fairly generous power output as well. Unfortunately, Porsche rolling out another combustion model in advance of the electric version. That's in 2023. Well, traditionally, when you were thinking of a quiet city two-wheeler, you probably weren't jumping onto a Harley-Davidson. But in 2019, they launched the Livewire, an all-electric motorcycle that caught some international attention. The early stages saw some charging issues and take-up on the bike that cost, let's face it, around $30,000. Wasn't huge, but things have really shaken up as Harley-Davidson has decided to go full throttle on electric and split the name Livewire into its own fully electric brand. The CEO, Jochen Zeitz, often says that they want to be the most desirable electric motorcycle brand in the world, and this is how they plan to do it. So what's their plan? Well, they plan to follow up on their announcement with the first model under the new Livewire brand on July the 8th later this year, showing it at the International Motorcycle Show in California the following day. We're looking forward to seeing what comes out. A much anticipated car this year is the Hyundai Ioniq 5, and prices are out, at least here in the UK. Maybe do the conversion for where you're watching or listening around the world. One of the biggest launches of 2021 has been the Ioniq 5. The car caused a stir in the days following its world premiere. Then in the last few weeks, we've seen reviewers get their hands on early production models, and the feedback enhanced the initial furore around the new car based on Hyundai's platform used for their cars, Kias and Genesis, etc. It's called the eGMP platform. So, following plenty of speculation, we have official pricing and options now from the Hyundai UK list, at least where I'm based. Now we don't have time of day to go through all of the details, but looking at the highlights, the Ioniq 5 starts here at least £37,000 for the rear-wheel drive version. that has a 58 kilowatt hour battery. It's the SE Connect trim. Now, if you are trying to do that conversion, bearing in mind, we have about 20% VAT, which is our tax, which goes on top. So if you're trying to work out what it might equate to where you're watching, bear that in mind. It's a lot of car for the money, considering it's impressive. It's a 3-meter wheelbase exactly. And that means the space inside is very impressive. However, most people are going to come up with the extra money for one of the premium or even ultimate levels of trim. If you fancy the ultimate version with a large battery pack that's 73 kilowatt hours and all-wheel drive power of 224 kilowatts, it's going to cost you about £48,000. There are various options that you can get, so if you fully spec it out, you'll be around £50,000. It's going to be fascinating to see how sales of the car pan out in the second half of the year. Nearly 10 years ago now, Tesla rolled out their iconic Superchargers for the first time. The brand has gone from strength to strength and continues to impress with their charging network. The number of chargers has been increasing rapidly, although in some countries they are faring better than others, it must be said. Fast forward 9 years and Tesla has reached the massively impressive amount of 25,000 stalls of their own network, with just over 2,700 sites. This is globally. It means that there's an average of about 9 stalls per station. With increasing numbers of Model 3 and Model Y on the road, the rollout of chargers isn't stopping either. It's probably fair to say that Tesla will hit the 30,000 mark sometime this year, maybe early 22, depending on how the rollout goes. Apart from the number of stalls being rolled out, it's worth noting that in the early days, the Superchargers would peak charge a Model S, if you were really lucky, just above 100 kilowatts. Then version 2, which was 150 kilowatts. The latest version 3 Superchargers can output 250 kilowatts of power. It's great progress, and we're sure it'll continue. So there you have it, another packed show of EV news on EV Morning. Hope you enjoyed it. We can't stay here all day chatting, so let us know in the comments below what you think of the stories today. We love to hear from you and to keep the conversation going. What stood out? Would you buy an Ioniq 5? Would you buy a Tesla purely for the supercharging network? And maybe you've been waiting for a 2-wheeled electric Harley-Davidson. Let us know. If you do enjoy this show, by the way, give us a thumbs up down there. Click the thumbs up button. It means that we know if you like it, and we can make more shows like this. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.